McDaniels, Robb, George, Ruby, and Howard on the floor for the Redettes out of the timeout from Mount Ayr. Raiderettes have the basketball. 8 seconds on the shot clock as Jones tries to work around George. 4. I don't know if she realizes the shot clock is as far down as it is. They're not going to get a shot off. A shot clock violation, and I don't know if the Raiderettes realized that out of that timeout they didn't have the full 35. That timeout came during the last possession, and there was not a whole lot of sense of urgency out there in the half court. Brecken Carney is going to come in to replace Talia Robb for Centerville as we inch closer to the halfway point of our final frame of regulation in a 3-point game. 38-35, Redettes. McDaniels, touch pass into Ruby. Kanisha back to Brecken Carney. McDaniels finds Ruby in the corner. Kanisha a couple of dribbles away to McDaniels. Inside now, Kanisha in the lane. Turnaround right-hander falls off the left. Street with a 7th rebound. Tegan Street back the other way. 6 points tonight for 22. Averages a little over 10 per outing. Here, Nichols, she's been the leading scorer, has it left wing, guarded by Carney. Now another trap in the corner, and a blocking foul is going to be called on McDaniels as Street was able to sneak her way by 22. And Regan's going to pick up her 3rd. So now she and Brecken Carney both with 3 each. Coach Paloma pointing out the switch up from Coach Lawson we were talking about going into that break has him really confused with the triangle and 2 defense here. It's a 1-and-1 here, by the way. That's the 7th team foul on Centerville. So Street, who sits at 54% on the year at the line, will toe the stripe. And she cannot connect on the front end. George grabs her 7th rebound. Rachel back the other way. Leaves it off for Carney. Back McDaniels. Regan all the way to the bucket. Not this time. Rebound Howard. Her putback doesn't stick. And the rebound for Barnes. We remain in a 3-point game. Under 3:45 to go in Mount Ayr. 38-35 Redettes. Henley. Right side for Street. Finds Kniep right of the lane. That's a walk. It was. She did that little hop step before she got it away to Barnes, and it looked like she had the pass open there to Barnes, just wouldn't let go of the leather. Robb's going to check in for Howard here. A little bit of a smaller lineup now. We've seen Coach Lawson mix it up quite a bit with 4 bigs, if you will, even though some of them are listed as guards out on the floor at one time. Now McDaniels, Carney, and Robb in the backcourt. Ruby and George add a little extra height out there against a taller lineup for Mount Ayr with Kniep and Barnes both on the floor. Pass is tipped. Nickel couldn't save it along the sideline. It's going to stay with the Redettes and 19 on the shot clock. But really a credit to Coach Lawson, going back to that comment from our Cosby's U.S. Cellular comment section of Coach Paloma, of Coach Lawson mixing up the defense tonight. We've seen the 1-3-1, we've seen the 2-3, now the triangle and 2, really causing some havoc for the Raiderettes in that half-court offense. They just do not look comfortable. Ruby trying to get it into George, and there were 3 white jerseys there as Henley made the steal, lost her footing, but it, for the Mount Ayr sake, was able to bounce over to Lindsey Barnes. Under 3 to go. Inside, Kniep came wide open underneath. 8 points for Kniep, and credit to Henley for finding her. 1-point game. George on the other end spins into the lane, kicks it out. Robb's going to try a 3, but she took too many steps before getting the shot off. The 14th turnover by my count for Centerville. Howard is going to replace Robb. Yes, seemed to be a little confusion there on the switch, but it will be Howard for Robb. And this one's coming down to the wire. 38-37, Centerville clinging to a 1-point advantage. Nickel on the left wing, guarded by Carney. Back over to Nickel again. Brecken right there. Great on-ball defense. And as I said it, she got called for a foul. I didn't see it, to be honest with you. The 4th personal on Brecken Carney. I thought she was doing a great job staying in the hip pocket of Nickel without a foul. But that will put Nickel, a 62% free throw shooter, at the line. She missed it. Off the front of the lip, George got the board. Nickel tipped it out of her hands. It will be Centerville basketball. Well, that's what plagued this Raiderette team against Martinsdale St. Mary's their last time out. They lost by 3 on the road against the number 15 ranked team in Class 1A, went 10 of 20 at the line. Not hitting their free throws tonight, especially in bonus time. Kearney's got it back from McDaniels as we approach the 2-minute mark of the quarter, and a turnover. Barnes tipped away a pass to Brea Nickel for her 4th steal. 15th turnover by Centerville. Nickel taking matters into her own hands. Can't finish the runner, and George got bumped. Going up for the rebound. The guilty party, Kniep for Mount Ayr. Her 3rd personal. That's the 4th, so still some time to go before the Redettes step to the free throw line. We remain in a 1-point game. 38-37, under 2 minutes to go in regulation. George hoists a deep 3. That's short. And out of bounds, Raiderette basketball. Rachel really just trying to find that shot from the outside. I've said it a couple times tonight. For those of you just joining us here on the South Central Conference Network, she hit her first of the evening. First shot of the game, as a matter of fact, for Centerville. Since then, nada from downtown. Here, George blocks the shot. It ends up with Kniep, who misses it right. Howard with the rebound. 2nd block for George. Rachel brings it up under 90 seconds to go. And instead of using up some clock, George got into the lane and traveled. Somehow got called for a travel. Coach Lawson can't believe it. The Redette faithful can't believe it. Heck, I can't believe it. I thought she came to a legal jump stop and got rid of that basketball. We got a little bit of face guarding here. Ruby is tagging along with Street wherever she goes. Inside the pass to Barnes. Kniep's going to try a jumper. That falls off the right side. There's Howard again. Adriana with a couple of big rebounds the last 2 times down. We go under a minute. 38-37. George gets to the free throw line. Back to McDaniels. Left side, Kearney. Brecken, Howard on the baseline. Back to Kearney. 18 on the shot clock. George surveying this zone. 15. Ruby, right side, into George, who makes a contested grab. 10. Howard, baseline jumper. No. Kearney tips it out to George. Rachel drives and gets fouled. Man, you know, honestly, I love the aggressive play of Rachel George. It's what makes her such a special player. But on that, when you get a reset of the shot clock, and there's a difference of 0.2 of a second here, which at the time, a difference of about 2 seconds on that drive. I would have really liked to see her pull that ball back and take some more time off the clock. But she hits the first here. She is 3 for 4 tonight at the line. Makes it a 2-point game. No matter what she does here, it will remain a 1-possession contest with 35 seconds remaining. She's got 12 in the game. And that one rims off. Kniep got the rebound around Howard. Coach Street not using a timeout for Mount Ayr. They're going to play it. Again, a difference of milliseconds between shot and game clock here. Street's got it on the right wing. Fakes the pass. Now over to Nickel. Back top of the key, Henley. Gets to the elbow. 15. She tries a 3 and hit it. Oh, my goodness. Her 12th 3 of the year. Mount Ayr goes in front by 1. Final 5 seconds. George inside. Kearney off the bottom of the backboard. Gets fouled with 2 seconds left. Brecken Kearney's going to go to the line as Kniep picks up her 4th personal foul with a chance to tie and even take the lead. Coach Lawson elected to allow her Redettes to play out that possession and not call a timeout. Coach Street, however, of Mount Ayr is going to use one to let Brecken think about those free throws. She's 1 for 2 tonight at the line and 53% on the year. We got some big ones coming up here right after this timeout for Brecken Kearney and the Redettes. On only the 3rd made 3 of the game and her first of the night, Tabitha Henley has given Mount Ayr a 1-point lead, but Brecken Kearney can have something to say about that. She does not hit the first. The deck, the student section here at Mount Ayr High School, was letting her hear about it prior to and after the miss, and Coach Street of the Raiderettes will use another timeout, and he makes it a full one at that. We'll take 1, 2, half that. We'll come back for a big free throw from Pancake Day Queen herself, Brecken Kearney. Big one coming from the senior Brecken Kearney. 2.4 seconds remain. Raiderettes 40, Redettes 39. A chance to tie, and she does. Calmly hits it, and Coach Street will use another timeout to set up a play for the final 2 ticks of the clock in regulation. Mount Ayr 40, Centerville 40. What more could you want on a non-conference Monday night? It will be Mount Ayr basketball as we are all knotted up at 40 apiece. 2 seconds remain here in regulation. And, of course, the big message from Coach Lawson during that timeout had to be, don't foul. Currently, Centerville with 8 team fouls, so any infraction would put Mount Ayr at the line, where they have not had a lot of success tonight. But nonetheless, you got to play it out. The Redettes will put some pressure in the front court. Barnes runs the baseline, and a foul is called. Oh, my goodness. Nickel got hit by Rachel George. I can't believe it. We got to see it again. Here on the Go SEC TV instant replay, George, oh, are you kidding me? And the Oscar goes to .4 remains, and Brea Nickel, who is 0 for 1 tonight, is now 1 for 2. And Thad Street will use his final timeout. One of his underclassmen, one of 2 on this roster, Brea Nickel, hits a go-ahead free throw to put the Raiderettes ahead 41-40. She's got one more coming out of this full timeout. We'll take half of it and bring you back here to Mount Ayr in just a moment. Jeff Moore, Sherry Jones, and Regina Gooden are all with me on that, shaking our heads at that last foul call that's put Nickel at the free throw line, where she has given Mount Ayr a 1-point lead and can make it 2. Here with just over 2 seconds remaining, 2.4. The sophomore steps to the line. And she hit them both. 18 points in the game for Brea Nickel, and now Taylor Lawson will call a timeout. Let's see if it's a full or a half. It is a full timeout, so again, we'll take 30 seconds of it and see what the first-year head coach of the Centerville Redettes draws up here for the final stages of our 4th quarter. Well, folks, while we wait for the Redettes to break the huddle here out of this full timeout, let's show it to you again. The play that put Brea Nickel on the free throw line to ultimately give the Raiderettes a 2-point advantage here. This foul called on Rachel George, and I mean, again, you be the judge. I'm from the South, for those of you that don't know, and I'll tell you, there ain't nothing like some home cooking. That's all I'm saying about it. And now Thad Street, I thought he was done. I thought that was his final timeout earlier, but they still have one up on the board, so he wanted to see how Centerville would line up in it. Well, we're not going to send you to another break. We've had quite a few of those here in these last few minutes. These last couple of seconds have taken almost 10 minutes to play out here, and we haven't really ticked anything away. 42-40, Mount Ayr leads. Now, they are on 16 fouls, so if they fouled, it would put Centerville at the free throw line for a 1-and-1. I don't think that's going to be the strategy here. Sometimes you'd see a coach in the last seconds of a game go with a foul here. Typically in a 3-point game, I'd say if they weren't at 6, you might see a foul on an inbounds pass from the Redettes. Coach Lawson didn't keep them very long in the huddle there. She feels confident of what they've got out there. They got Howard, Ruby, George, Carney, and McDaniels on the floor, and everybody's in the front court right now. 2.4 seconds remain, and Thad Street about came out of his shoes there, wanting to pull everybody back away from the Centerville offensive players, and now Coach Lawson's going to use a timeout. We got a little cat and mouse game going on right here. What a game. I mean, how about the debut of the Centerville Redette basketball team on Go SEC TV, huh? You couldn't ask for one much better. While we are at a break here, let's, for a moment, Jimmy, do we have the conference standings? Just to kind of take a look at those here, and just a topic to calm our minds for a moment. Here's where we stand with just a couple games left in the South Central Conference schedule. Of course, Centerville will be back at home tomorrow to take on the Knoxville Panthers. You can see the Redettes fighting with Sheraton there for 4th place at the moment. Sheraton does have the head-to-head wins over the Redettes this year, but with a Again, 3 matchups still to go in South Central Conference play. You just never know how that will shake out. Thank you, Jimmy, for getting those queued up. The one and only Jimmy Ott, the second, producing for us tonight. Centerville's own Joseph Fagan's on our main camera. I'm Dewayne Cook here on the mic. Let's see. No timeouts either side. We're playing out these 2.4 seconds right here. Howard will trigger. Adriana looking down court. Gets it into George. Rachel puts it up too strong off the shot clock, and that will be how this one comes to an end. Mount Ayr survives. For their 13th win of the season, they take down the visiting Centerville Redettes 42-40 in one for the ages. What a ball game here tonight. We'll look forward to catching up with Coach Lawson during the halftime of our boys game, which is coming up next here on Go SEC TV in a separate video. Stick around. Raiders and Big Reds coming your way.